bridges destroyed, borders pushed, and a war that refuses to end. Israel is driving deeper into Lebanon, cutting off supply lines, targeting strongholds, and sending an unmistakable message to Hezbollah. But Hezbollah is hitting back. An airbase struck, troops under fire, and a Lebanese president warning the world, this isn't defense, this is occupation. This fight has only just begun. The conflict between Israel and Hezbollah is entering a dangerous new phase, with strikes intensifying on both sides and warnings of a wider ground invasion growing louder. Israeli forces have targeted key infrastructure in southern Lebanon, including bridges believed to be used by Hezbollah to move fighters and weapons. The strikes are part of a broader effort to isolate the group and cut off its supply lines. Lebanon's President Joseph Aoun has sharply condemned the attacks, warning they signal a deeper military push.
This attack is an attempt to sever the geographical connection between the southern Litani region and the rest of Lebanese territory. It's within suspicious schemes to establish a buffer zone along the Israeli border, solidify the reality of the occupation, and seek Israeli expansion within Lebanese territory.
The destruction of bridges over the Litani River is seen as a strategic move. By severing key routes, Israel appears to be preparing the battlefield for sustained operations deeper into Lebanese territory. Officials say the aim is to prevent Hezbollah from reinforcing positions near the border and to create a buffer zone. At the same time, Israel's military leadership is signaling that the campaign is far from over.
The message is clear. There is no safe haven for the regime and its proxies. Any threat to Israeli citizens will be met with a determined, precise and powerful response. At the end of the campaign in Iran, Hezbollah will be left alone and isolated. This is a prolonged campaign, and we are prepared for it.
The message reflects a broader shift in strategy. Israeli forces have already launched limited ground operations in southern Lebanon, targeting what they describe as Hezbollah strongholds. The objective is to dismantle the group's infrastructure and push it further away from Israel's northern border. But Hezbollah has not remained silent. The group has stepped up its attacks, including strikes on Israeli military positions. Reports indicate that Hezbollah targeted an Israeli airbase on Mount Meron, a key surveillance and defense site in northern Israel. The attack underscores the group's ability to strike strategic locations even as Israeli operations intensify. Clashes on the ground are also growing fiercer. In areas like Eyal, Israeli troops are facing sustained resistance, with Hezbollah deploying anti-tank missiles, drones, and artillery. The conflict, which reignited earlier this month, has already caused significant casualties and mass displacement. Hundreds have been killed, and large parts of southern Lebanon have been emptied as civilians flee the fighting. There are also mounting concerns about the humanitarian impact. The targeting of infrastructure, including bridges and homes, risks isolating entire communities and cutting off access to essential supplies. For Israel, the objective is clear: weaken Hezbollah to the point where it can no longer threaten northern communities. For Lebanon, the fear is equally clear that these strikes are not just tactical, but the opening moves of a full-scale ground invasion. As both sides escalate, the situation is becoming increasingly volatile. What began as cross-border exchanges is now evolving into a broader confrontation, with the potential to draw in more actors across the region. And with warnings from both sides growing sharper, the question is no longer whether the conflict will intensify, but how far it will go. Israel has launched limited but targeted ground operations in southern Lebanon, marking a significant escalation in its long-running confrontation with Hezbollah. The move, announced on March 16th, signals a new and potentially dangerous phase in the conflict along Israel's northern frontier. According to the Israeli Defense Forces, troops from the 91st Galilee Regional Division have begun conducting operations inside southern Lebanon over the past few days. The focus of the campaign is a series of locations believed to host key Hezbollah infrastructure and operational bases. Among the most intense fighting has been reported in the town of Kiam, a strategically important area near the border. Israeli forces have also carried out raids and strikes in Yeta, Burj Kalawiya, Sultaniya, Chakra, Kantara, and As Sawana. These locations form part of the belt of villages where Hezbollah has historically maintained military positions, storage sites, and launch areas for rockets. Before advancing on the ground, the Israeli military carried out heavy airstrikes and artillery shelling across several of these areas. The strikes were aimed at weakening Hezbollah's defensive capabilities and neutralizing potential threats to Israeli troops entering the region. According to the Israeli military, several Hezbollah operatives have already been killed during the initial stages of the ground push. Israeli officials say the operations are designed to create a stronger security buffer along the northern border. The stated goal is to dismantle Hezbollah's military infrastructure, eliminate militants operating close to the frontier, and expand what Israel describes as a forward defensive zone intended to protect residents in northern Israel.
In recent days, IDF troops from the 91st Division have begun limited and targeted ground operations against key Hezbollah strongholds in southern Lebanon, aimed at enhancing the forward defense area. This operation is part of the effort to establish the forward defense, which includes destroying terrorist infrastructure and eliminating terrorists.
Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz confirmed that the ground maneuver is part of a broader effort to remove threats from the border region and restore security for Israeli communities in the north.
The IDF has begun a ground maneuver in Lebanon to remove threats and protect the residents of the Galilee and the north.
In further remarks, Katz suggested that large-scale displacement in southern Lebanon may continue until Israel is satisfied that the threat from Hezbollah has been removed.
Hundreds of thousands of Shia residents of South Lebanon who have evacuated and are evacuating their homes in South Lebanon and Beirut will not return to their homes south of the Litani area until the security of the residents of the north is guaranteed.
However, battlefield reports suggest the advance has not been without resistance. According to regional sources, Israeli forces have reportedly fallen into several ambushes set by Hezbollah fighters in southern Lebanon, particularly in the eastern sector and around the strategic town of Meron al-Ras. For now, Israel insists the ground operation remains limited and focused. But with clashes intensifying around strategic towns like Kiam, fears are growing that the conflict could expand further, pulling the region into a deeper and far more dangerous confrontation.